Joining us now, Senator David Perdue from the great state of Georgia. Senator, how are you?
Well, Laura, good morning. I don't know what the word woke means, but I think I'm woke because I'm pissed this morning. I apologize to your listeners going in, but this is a sham. It's a new low in America. This level of character assassination I didn't think we would see again in my lifetime, but I'm disgusted with the process this week.
The fact that President Trump comes out yesterday and starts talking about it and says, look, this could be your father, your brother, your son, he's getting excoriated in the media. They're saying he's attacking a victim. How did you take it?
Well, I agree with the president 100%. But, the war on women, Laura, has been perpetrated by the Democrats in this case. Dr. Ford, I don't know the woman, but she wanted this to be kept confidential. And the Democrats exposed it. They leaked it, and they exposed it intentionally for their own purpose. But this is part of a bigger attempt by the Democrats to take this to a new level. I mean, the paid activists that are around right now, Laura, my wife and I were physically accosted at a public airport on Monday this week because of this. These people are paid by the Center of Public Democracy. They get money from the Open Society Foundation, which is George Soros, who has put, now listen to this, more than $32 billion into this effort over the last couple of years. This is a bigger issue, and it's not going to go away when we confirm Cavanaugh this week.
No, and I think you're exactly right. I think it's time for conservatives to stop playing defense.
Absolutely.
Everyone's on their heels all the time. Like Jeff Flake's like cowering in the elevator, and then you get everyone's like, oh, these ladies are yelling at me. It turns out the woman is a co-executive director of the Soros funded group, as you said, Center for Democracy. And I think it's time to turn the tables. Okay, sunshine on you. Who are you people who are working for this organization? You are carrying on, and I think you could make the argument, Senator, that and maybe a good lawyer, a good plaintiff's lawyer could do this, or just good litigation attorney could do this. This is kind of it's almost like a RICO deal. Like these groups are working together to deny other people their right to movement, free movement, which is guaranteed under our Constitution, free association. They're acting in a way to deprive others, I would say, of their inherent civil rights. And
I totally agree.
They're meant to intimidate.
I totally agree. But listen to what these senators are doing to incite the crazies in this effort. This is Senator Cory Booker. You just had him on there. Here's another one. This is Cory Booker. Please get up in the face of some Congress people. Representative Maxine Waters. They're not going to be able to go to a restaurant, go to a gas station, go to shop at a department store. Get up and absolutely harass them. Nancy Pelosi. I don't know why they aren't uprising all over the country. I mean, it goes on. Tell me again why we shouldn't confront Republicans where they eat, where they sleep, where they work, until they stop being complicit. This is outrageous, Laura, and if it doesn't do anything else, it should serve to wake us up. You're exactly right. Democrats have been playing offense for the last 100 years. It's time for Republicans to stop being the minority party and grow up.
I'll say it. You don't have to
grow up and become. Stop playing defense. This is the time right now.
Senator Perdue, there's so much that is happening, which is positive. In this administration, the news has been unremittingly negative because that's just where the media are. They're not going to. I mean, we just had this NAFTA deal pass, okay, or be negotiated. It has to pass through the Senate. Everyone said this couldn't happen. They said Trump was a big bloviator. Obama ridiculed him. He's going to wave his magic wand. We're somehow going to renegotiate all these deals. Well, didn't. Took actually work to do this, like 19 months of work. And you almost hear nothing of this. Huge milestone for this administration.
It's huge, but it's part of what's going on. This economy is growing at twice the rate it did under President Obama. We have a new free trade agreement with South Korea. We're about to have one with Mexico and Canada. Europe is talking about zero tariffs. We have China stepping up and paying attention to us now. We have a nuclear conversation going on with North Korea to end up in denuclearization of North Korea. This president's agenda is working, and all we talk about is what the Democrats want us to talk about. That's what you're saying, is that we need to be on the offense, talking about what's working in this agenda before we get into these elections in a few weeks.
I can tell you this, Senator. No one's going to want to try to stop me moving on a public street or try to harass me in a restaurant. Okay?
Good for you.
I don't tolerate that. Anyone
Good
comes
for
up
you.
to my family, my kids, they better be they better be really ready, because this is I'm not intimidated by some rich kid who lives at home with his parents and in his free time, jumps on the MoveOn.org website to get his marching orders. Okay, like, go home to your rich parents and who pay for your 3 square meals a day and your activism on the side. I mean, this just doesn't impress me. I call these people right out to their faces.
Laura, that's what we're going to begin to do this week, and it starts right here in the United States Senate. People who are supporting this actively and encouraging and inciting it. We have a state representative that actually was involved in our altercation on Monday, a state representative from Arizona, okay, of all places, here in Washington. These are not genuine people who are concerned about Dr. Ford or anything else. These are paid activists. This is a George Soros conspiracy, and it's time we wake up, expose them, and stand up and fight for our country, because that's what's at stake here.
Do you think we have enough Republican moneybags types to counter the effort of Steyer and Soros? Because they're just pumping tens of millions of dollars into voter registration, into educating people in these training sessions on how to approach new voters. This is, they're going to the new Puerto Rican voters in Florida and laying a line on them like, oh, Trump hates you and you got to throw the Republicans out. In Georgia, you see this tight governor's race, which is really disturbing. The Stacey Abrams, who's a left-winger. Georgia could elect a left-wing Stacey Abrams to be governor? Great state of Georgia?
This is what you were saying earlier. One of the good byproducts of this is I think it's awakened the Republican base. It was a little passive, particularly in Georgia maybe this year. But I'll tell you this, that race in Georgia has drawn $30 million from Mike Bloomberg and Soros and 2 other California investors. What they're doing is their California investors and New York donors are trying to sneak into Georgia and steal that governor's race, because they believe that's the way to the presidency in 2020, to get those electoral votes down there. And it's just not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen, Laura.
David Perdue here on the Laura Ingraham Show. Jeff Flake yesterday seemed to kind of shift the goalposts a little on Kavanaugh, or maybe it was just commenting on his overall demeanor with the committee. Let's listen.
I was very troubled by the tone of the remarks. The initial defense that Judge Cavanaugh gave was something I hope that I would sound that indignant if I felt that I was unjustly, maligned. But then it went on, and the interaction with the members was sharp and partisan, and that concerns me.
Your reaction, was it concerning to you, Kavanaugh getting in the face of old Klobuchar?
Laura, he did exactly what I would have expected him to do. He was indignant, and he should have been. Listen to what these guys are saying. Chris Coons says, if Judge Kavanaugh is seeking a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court, and who I think now bears the burden of disproving these allegations. The presumption of innocence has been trashed in this whole process. It's not convenient for the Democrats. I mean, they talk about him being, Cory Booker, again, calls him evil. Another one said, a Yale alum said, people will die. I mean, the vernacular here has risen to a level that we haven't seen in decades, Laura, and it's dangerous. Republicans had better not be asleep at this, because these people are now mobilized, they're funded, and quite frankly, this is just the tip of the spear of what of all of their malign activity, actually.
Senator Perdue, in Georgia, just going back briefly to this very tight governor's race, what is your sense? What do the people need to know? Again, this was this poll by Landmark, pretty decent polling outfit, likely voters, and it was basically a 45-45 dead heat. This governorship is very important for so many reasons to the state of Georgia, and the economic growth in Georgia has been very strong. But what could a left-wing governor do to that growth?
Well, here's what she's saying. She wants a single payer, and she wants all these giveaway programs that would cause state taxes to be tripled. This is the most extreme liberal progressive candidate that Georgia has ever had, and she's getting funded by all these outside donors, not donors in Georgia, by the way. And so what's happening is all of this conversation about war on women and everything else has confused the issue. Georgia right now is rated the best state in the country in which to do business, and she wants to tear that down. We have a great Republican candidate. Brian Kemp is going to make a great governor, and Republicans, if they get the vote out, we will win that election.
I think that the people of Georgia, maybe they've gotten a little a little bit of an awakening during this entire Kavanaugh deal. I think Kemp should make this a huge issue down there and push. I'd push this Stacey Abrams. I don't know if she's come out on the Kavanaugh thing, but I would push her right to the wall on this. And I mean it in a figurative way, not a literal way. So don't start talking about. You can't even say anything anymore. Every little word you say is like sliced and diced by these left-wing groups, again funded by George Soros. These hateful little people in their basements. But I hope they continue to press this issue because I can't imagine the people of Georgia like what they see.
No, we don't. And I've been down there the last several weeks all over the state, and people are rising up against what's happening nationally and what's happening in our home state.
Senator, thank you so much. Come on TV soon. It's always great to have you on. And by the way, I got to remind everyone, Senator David Perdue is one of the best senators in the United States on many issues, but the one I will always remember him on is immigration. He signed that FAIR pledge when he was running for the Senate years ago when we first did that. He is just a stalwart on enforcing our borders and making the rule of law meaningful again. So, Senator, thank you for that. We'll take a break, close out this hour, a lot more. Thanks for listening to this podcast excerpt of The Laura Ingraham Show. If you'd like to receive podcasts of our complete shows, go to lauraingraham.com and sign up to become a member of Laura 365. Our Laura 365 members get commercial-free streams and podcasts of our shows every day we're on the air. And also, you can listen to the last 30 days of The Laura Ingraham Show. Be ahead of the curve. Join Laura 365.